Welcome. You are here with Dr. Nilda Perez with Business Foresight, creating strategies towards your extraordinary future. Hello and welcome to the Dr. Nilda Business Foresight Show. We are back again one more time with another awesome guest, but this guest I handpicked like a few months ago, and I'm very excited to have her here. It took so much for me to finally get the guts up to ask her, and when she said yes, I was thrilled beyond words. So I'm again excited. I am very, very blessed to have the very, very best guest here. So today we have with us Lu Camarena Meshulam. So her experience is, she has over 20 years experience in the cosmetic industry, also specialized in special effects makeup for TV and film. She's worked in Mercedes Benz, Fashion Week, the MTV Music Awards, in the VH1 Awards, along with numerous celebrities. And that's how I found her. I actually found her online and was following the things that she was doing and was very impressed with the fact that such a young Latina had made such huge strides. So she is not just another makeup artist, but somebody who has developed her own line. And we all know how I love creativity, innovation, and she exemplifies all of that in one. Thank you for being here.
Wow, what an introduction. Okay. I'm equally excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a long journey, a lot to share with you, but thank you so much for inviting me.
Okay, awesome. So I want you to start with your story because, you know, oftentimes people think that success is like, you know, a one and done. Like I have one good idea and I'm putting it out there and suddenly you're a millionaire. And it's a struggle, and it's I know you've shared your little vignette on your Facebook Live, but I want you to tell me your story. You were brought up, you're Mexican?
I am.
And
first generation here from Mexico.
Okay.
I'm one of 8 and living a very humble life in Colorado. I experienced a lot of things at a very young age. And to tell you the truth, everything that's happened thus far has been a journey that was unplanned. I just, you know, most people end up having their circumstances define them, and I think that since I was very young and seeing what my mother was going through and what we were going through, I was determined back then at 5 years old to leave Colorado and become something.
Wow.
You know, but I had no idea what that was going to be.
What that something would be.
I had no idea.
But it was something.
It was something.
And it was big.
I didn't know. I knew it was big. But, so yeah, being that I experienced so many things at a very young age, it just continuously kept happening. I ended up leaving home at 17 with nothing but the clothes on my back.
Wow.
At 19, I moved to New York City without knowing a single person, never had even traveled to the East Coast. And, you know, I was a flight attendant. That's actually how I came to New York. But that wasn't even something that I was dreaming about doing. My best friend wanted to be a flight attendant, and we were connected at the hip. So I told her about the seminar that was happening, and she said, why don't you just come with me? And I went with her, of course, because we did everything together. Right. And she said, why don't you just apply? You're here. I applied. I got the job. She didn't. But
wow.
But she never held it against me. Thank goodness for that. But it was a blessing because out of all the places I couldn't have ever thought of like ending up in New York. I knew I was going to leave Colorado.
Right.
But to have been New York, I was like, wow. I was like beside myself.
Right.
And I did the flight attendant thing for a little while. It wasn't really what I wanted to do. I didn't even, you know, I had no idea I was going to do it. Okay. And I always had a passion for makeup. So I leave that, you know, to where when I was 12, you know, that was the one connection that I did have with my mother, is that I felt that the quality time, the very little quality time that I had with her was that of her getting ready and literally turning into, I mean, she was beautiful, but with makeup, and she didn't really do so much. She just kind of like quickly, and she always included me in the process. And I was like, I felt like, wow, my mom's so happy when she's beautifying herself. I love it.
Right.
And she loves me and all this attention I get, and I get of like, you know, compartir en escogiendo los colores, you know. I hope that you don't mind that I speak Spanish
absolutely.
too.
No,
because
go
that's
right
kind of
ahead.
like,
That's who we are. That's perfect. Yes.
Yeah, a veces se me sale and, you know, it just comes out. So with her allowing me and us having that quality time, you know, it just instilled in me some feelings that I wanted to always feel myself and to share with other people. And I felt that that was a way to make people feel good.
Okay. So at that age, because at 12 years old, what did makeup represent for you? Like, what did that mean for you?
It's funny because for a lot of people it means, you know, to change yourself and to become somebody or enhance yourself. For me it was happiness. It was making you feel good about yourself.
Okay.
So with that, with that being said, when I actually started doing makeup, I started doing it on myself. But I have a sibling who's 10 years younger than I. So at 12, you know, she was like just an infant.
Right.
And I practically raised my mother's kids, the young ones, because she was a single
So
mom
were
at that
you
time.
one of the oldest?
I was the fourth one.
Oh, okay.
So my oldest sister had already been out of the house, and I have two older brothers, so I was the one managing everything for my mother.
Okay.
So everything, because she was out working, so I was
Okay.
literally doing the cooking, the cleaning, the laundry, the you name it, I did it. And I raised the kids. That's why I waited to have my own child for a while. But so my little sister remembers this. She said when she was 2, I burned her ear because I was curling her hair, and she's like, so I was whoever let me put my hands on them, I was doing it. So she was my own little doll.
Okay, yeah.
We
That was what did they do it in fashion or in not in fashion in hairdressing school?
The mannequins.
They usually give you the mannequin, so you used your little 2-year-old sister. Okay,
Yes, she was my little doll. Like I didn't have dolls, but she was my doll.
Okay.
So I would curl her hair, but with makeup, when it came to makeup, whoever, my friends, anybody that would allow me to put makeup on them. At 16 is really when I was able to wear makeup. It took, at 16 is when I was able to wear makeup. And boy, did I wear it. I was plucking my eyebrows, over plucking and everything.
Yeah.
But, you know, another thing that I wanted to share is that I'm not artistically inclined. So
you've got to be kidding me. You do such an amazing job.
Thank you.
I know I have a niece who's a graphic artist, and she's amazing at makeup. Like she can really, I see what she does and I'm like, wow, her eyes are really enhanced and she knows, but she's an artist.
I'm not.
And you're not.
I'm not an artist. I can't draw a stick figure for the life of me. Go figure. I can't.
Wow.
So the whole journey, the process of what I've been doing to even be able to work with celebrities was a huge challenge, and it was very nerve-wracking for me every single time, but it stimulated it. It gave me animo, you know, I can do this, because all along I always thought that everybody's always trying to hold you down. You can't do this, and I always felt like, gosh, I can't do that, but I can.
Right.
So at 16, you know, I was doing makeup for all my friends and whatnot. Then when I came to New York, I was really working after a flight attendant.
So you became a flight attendant when you were about 19 years old?
Yes.
Okay. So at that point, was makeup like front and center? Did you see, you know, an avenue for that in your life, or still? No. I was just still doing makeup for my friends. It was just something that I loved to do. I had no idea that I would be working, doing makeup for people for a business, you know, like getting paid for it. I was just thought, let's just doll you up. Let's have some fun here. Right.
The dress up, I always loved to dress up with my mom, because that's basically what she would do. I felt that it was dress up for us when she was going out.
Okay.
So after I became a flight attendant, I only did that for 2 years, and I went into administrative work, and I met a friend of mine who I always talk about makeup, and he's like, why don't you just go and do makeup? Why don't you go and do makeup? And I'm like, where? Like, I didn't even think about it. He's like, go to the stores, go to Bloomingdale's, go to any of the department stores. And you know what? I always aim high. I don't know why I've always been like that, but I went straight to Chanel.
Oh, I love it.
I went straight to Chanel.
I love that.
I know. I'm like, who do I think I am, right?
Well, you know, you're LuMesh.
Yes, now, But I went straight to Chanel. I went up to the manager, introduced myself, and I said, you know, she asked me for my resume. I
Okay.
spiffed it up a little bit. You know, I did weddings, I did quinceañeras, I did, you know, all these kind of things. And I also...
Which you had done, and you had experience.
Yes.
You know, even if it was your little sister and your friends, you did have experience.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it wasn't fibbing. Like you had experience.
Course,
it was just not formal.
It wasn't like for me to go and say, you know, I'm the best of the best and you got to have me. But what I did do is I offered her to not pay me for the day and just allow me to show her what I can do.
Oh my goodness.
And if there's anything that I like to share with people is how I, you know, got myself to places that I couldn't even imagine that I would put myself in. And with that is always, you know, when you're in an uncomfortable situation or you're out of your comfort zone and you're in an environment that you're not familiar with, the best thing to do is to observe. So I did that. So what I did is I was watching the other women doing makeup, and they were there for years. So I was listening. I really was picking up on what they were saying to the clients.
That's a great point. You know, it was I was talking to somebody yesterday, and we were talking about, you know, she was like, well, how can I get better at what I do? And we were talking about research. I said, you know what? Anything you don't know, we're blessed, and people don't realize it's such a blessing to have the internet. Like years ago, when you needed to learn something, where would you go?
I think about that all
You
the time
had to go
right
to a book, you had to go, but now everything is really at your fingertips.
Accessible,
Anything that you want to learn. And so not to put yourself in that position, what do? You observed other people. They were doing, this was something that you knew you were good at, but you knew you'd be better if you learned from the people that were around you.
Yeah, and boy, was I eavesdropping, and I was taking
mental notes,
and I was using them on the people that were sitting in my seat. And that day, I sold $600 to each client that sat in my chair.
Really?
Yes, so she hired me.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so, and about how many people sat at
I think that day was maybe 3 people, because it wasn't, you know, a full day. She didn't give me a full day. She just said, you know, come in between 1 to 3 or something like that.
And in that...
Yeah, it was a very short time, but everybody...
But look how powerful. $900 in 3 hours?
Yes.
That's crazy.
And I so happy that she gave me that chance. And it's really, in life, it's really... You got to get people to really... You have to believe in yourself, and more than that, you got to really prove yourself. Put your money where you're... You know, you just have to... Whatever you say... You just make it happen.
So did you get the job with Chanel that day?
I did.
You did.
And what happened after that, this is really, I mean, for me to have gone, again, I could have started with a very small line. I mean, I went straight to the top. Chanel at that time, that was in the 90s, early 90s.
Right.
And after that, that manager ended up going to Frederick Fekkai, and she took me with her. So that's how I took that leap into really working with top hairstylists and become a celebrity makeup artist. I went from being a sales associate / makeup artist at Chanel to now I'm a celebrity makeup artist. So what I experienced there, again, like I said, not being artistically challenged, but loving the fact that I could do makeup. I look at makeup of what I do as kind of like tracing. So that's why I don't really feel like that I change people's what they look like. I enhance what they already have. I bring out who you are. It's not something that I feel like I ever want to do to myself. I always like to look like myself with or without makeup.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I got away with doing makeup for all these years, is really tracing.
Okay.
Tracing people's features and knowing how to enhance their best features too.
Okay. But Lu, there is an art. There's an art to doing that. You know, again,
I guess I don't give myself
see you're
so much
humble,
credit.
and that's awesome. You know, I love the fact that you're humble. But the truth is that that's an art, because I struggle with doing my own makeup. And I know that I need it. And I think the older we get, the more we need to enhance. But truth be told, you know, that's a struggle for me, because I'm like, I don't even know if I'm doing this well. And it's not, so it's not, for me, it's not easy. So that's a gift. It really it is a gift. You're gifted, although you may not see yourself as an artist, to be able to an artist trace, darling.
Yes.
Okay.
But I also
So-
have to say that when I say that I'm not a true artist, yes, I do get that there is an artistic, you have something. And I think it's just me, wanting to do it and to make it happen. But this is why my line is so important, because I am just like you. You look at me as being this artistic person that has this gift. I struggle to do my own makeup, and I'm going to explain why. And this is what happens to a lot of people, because no matter what, it may not be that we just don't have the artistic gene. Maybe you're a right-handed person, left-handed person, we're uncoordinated, and LuMesh makes it easy for the most uncoordinated person to be able to do their makeup. And how I've achieved that is because I've created proprietary techniques that I had to learn myself on. How do I do my makeup like all these other people do? And I just really want to, I just want the eyeliner to look perfect, but I just can't do the wing on myself. It just doesn't work. And it's because my hand-eye coordination is completely off. Okay. Don't ask me to throw a bulb in your direction, because it's totally going to go in the opposite direction.
A woman after my own heart. Okay, so I thought I was the only one. Because that's the biggest struggle for me. I have no hand-eye coordination.
Is off, and also, it has something to do with your vision too. I have better peripheral vision than central vision. Okay. So I really work with the exterior, with the peripheral of the face. Okay. And if you think about it, anything that comes near the eye's going to get, it's going to flinch because something's coming at it. Okay. With my techniques, depending on how you look at yourself in the mirror, I've incorporated cosmetology with physiology. So I teach you how to actually angle yourself and look at yourself in the mirror so you can actually achieve these techniques that you see on YouTube and all these other celebrity makeup artists, how they achieve these beautiful looks. So again, thank you for the compliments of saying that I'm gifted, and I thank you. I do get it. But I want everybody to know that I'm just like everybody else. I do have that challenge on that. It is a struggle to be able to do it.
Okay. So you're working you went from Chanel to, what's the name of the other company?
Frederick Fekkai. He was a celebrity makeup artist. And at that point, is where I started getting my exposure to celebrities. And by chance, there were other makeup artists there that would be, selected to go out on the field. They'd go to Fox, they'd go to any of the networks. That's what these makeup lines do and hairstylist companies do. They send people from their teams to go out to work for the networks and whatnot. And one of the makeup artists was scheduled to do Gladys Knight's makeup. Oh. And she was a friend of mine. And she called me one night, and she's like, Lu, I need you to do me a big favor, please. She's like, panicked. And I'm like, all right, what? She's like, can you please go to Fox for me tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah, why? She's like, because you have to do Gladys Knight's makeup. I did it today, and she wiped it all off, and I can't go back. I don't know what to do. I'm like, sure, I'll go. Wow. So I ended up doing Gladys Knight's makeup that day for Fox. She was on Fox, and then that night she invited me to be a part of the event going on at the White House. This was 1997.
What a blessing.
Yes, and I ended up going to the White House, and she performed for the benefit for Bill Clinton, and that's when Bill Clinton was in office. And they gave us a private tour of the White House. It was her and the Pips, her stylist, and myself. We had a private tour of the White House, which was such a blessing. I was just like, ooh, it was awesome. Yeah,
right,
so
all the places you'll go, Dr. Seuss.
Yes,
love it.
Yes. So,
wow.
So, and honestly, to tell you the truth, the first time I ever did eyelashes was on Gladys Night.
Really? Okay.
And talk about being like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Yeah. I did it.
Wow.
So no matter what, that's the one thing that I always, and if I could be a mentor of any sort to anybody, and just, any kind of guidance and advice that I could always give, is just do it. Yeah. Just go ahead and just never, ever, ever hold yourself back because of the fear. I had a lot of fear of things like, oh, I can't do that, I can't. But the fear was like, oh my gosh, it holds people back.
Right.
And fear
Right.
is actually what gets me going.
Okay.
So I'm completely the opposite when it comes to that.
So I want to fast forward, and you having, I mean, this is a pretty awesome life. Most people don't have really the opportunity or the blessing to meet people like Gladys Knight and all of the other your celebrities that you actually worked on. So you get to know, you could get to see the before and after, because we always see the after, and so which is awesome. And that could have been it, and you could have been done, and you could have continued to do that, but then you became an entrepreneur by creating, which is the fascinating part for me. When you started creating your own makeup line, what need did you find that made you start your own line? Because again, you've worked with the best makeup. I mean, Chanel, you've had the best of the best.
Yes.
So what was the need that you saw that you had to create?
Well, it happened after, because after I was working with Frederick Fekkai and all the celebrities had that experience, which is one of my goals. I thought that, wow, I've done, I accomplished my goal, my dream, to work with celebrities.
And I'm only 20 years old.
What happened is I really missed working with everyday people. And I missed, I felt like I was carrying around so much product that I was like, this has got to, why do I need so much product? I mean, there's got to be a better way. So I went back to work at retail. In retail, and then I worked at Henry Bendel, Saks Fifth Avenue. I became a business manager for Scott Barnes at Bergdorf Goodman. I worked for almost every line out there that you could think of. I worked at Sephora. I did it all. I wanted to know every brand that was out there, the skincare, everything. I just wanted to immerse myself in knowing and seeing what products were the best. So I literally can say I've worked for the best of the best. And at that point, I had a passion to say, I knew what was missing in the market. I felt like there was so many of us women that really deserved to be the focus of. And I didn't see that in any of the brands that I was working for. I wanted to unite women as a whole. I felt like I should be able to go up to a line, any cosmetic line, and feel like this line is for me. And I felt like when I was working for all these lines, I felt like a lot of women didn't approach the counters because they felt that it wasn't really meant for them. My job at that point was to really introduce them. I was really good at introducing brands to women that were walking in the department stores. I would bring them on into the line, and I would really pick out colors and show them, look, this is for you. But it was very hard because there weren't very many products in the line that really catered, but I was able to pinpoint the products that really worked for women of all ethnicities. Okay. So at that point,
because that as a female who is very, self-care is very important to me, and looking my best and representing whatever, who I am, my brand and myself. I remember back, I'll be honest, I was in my very early 20s, and I always struggled with the makeup because I would go to a counter, they would do my makeup, it would be flawless, I'd buy everything, I'd bring it home.
Overwhelming.
And then I couldn't bring that person with me, which I really would have preferred to buy her than the makeup.
Right.
Seriously, because how do I do this?
Exactly.
And they made it seem so easy. And that was, for me, that was the biggest struggle. And always has been, and to this day, I cringe. I see what they do, and I'm like, okay, I'm not buying. I'll just buy the stuff that I still know. So I've probably been doing my makeup the same way since I was in my 20s, because
it's what you
it's
know,
all
and you
I
know yourself. Yes,
right.
It's okay because you know yourself, and that's your comfort zone too, and it's okay. I encourage that. I encourage for people to feel like this is how I like to look. If I could do more, I would, but at the same time, the pressure is it shouldn't be pressure that you can't, or you would like more help doing it. I think that you do a fantastic job. I think a lot of women do really a great job, and I think where women sometimes don't get it is when you overdo it. So less is best, in my opinion.
Okay, good. Then I'm doing well.
Yes,
Then
less
I'm
is
doing well.
best.
This is good.
Less
Okay.
is best,
Okay.
in my opinion, always. So
Okay. So you're working for these companies and you're teaching women, which is great because that's really what we need. And again, when did you decide, hey, you know what, I'm going to start my own line? Because this is pretty fascinating, what you do. You know, the fact that you've created your very own line. When did this happen?
it, again, like I said, whenever you hit a wall, you make things happen. I, at that point, decided that I wanted to apply to develop products for these cosmetic lines that I was working for. All I wanted to do, and my dream had changed from being a celebrity makeup artist, because I had already achieved that, to now I want to create products for other makeup lines, be the product development director one day, is what my goal was.
Mm-hmm.
And I started reaching out to my regional managers, and they said that I couldn't even apply for the position because I didn't have a college degree.
Oh.
So, you know, I wasn't going to sit there and not do what I really had my heart set on, and I did a lot of research. And at that time, I was working with I was working with a lot of socialites at that time, so I really put myself in an element that really allowed me to be surrounded with people who would be able to eventually back me, finance me, which was what I was looking at. But they were all asking for a business plan.
Okay.
I'm not academic here at all. So I was like,
Okay.
how am I going to do that? Like, that to me was harder than, I think I could create a makeup plan. I had no idea how to even start it, but I'm like, a business plan. So I ended up going to approaching the universities. And again, resources, you know, you can become very creative when you feel like you don't know how to even start anything. You know, just look around, figure out, like, how would you ever come up with getting the material that you need? Because research for me was something that, when it comes to numbers and demographics and stuff like that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't even know where to start. So I went to the universities. I approached NYU, Pratt, Columbia, Harvard, all business schools, and asked them if there was a program where they could help me create a business plan. And they, I guess, put it into the curriculum, where they actually put it into the program, and I got picked up and worked with some students to put a business plan together. And that gave me the opportunity to understand business.
Okay.
You know, because I work closely. I gave them the information, and they put it on paper, which is what I have. Everything. I could give the information, but put it on paper, I'm working on it.
Okay.
So I ended up getting the business plan. Did I ever use it for an investor? No. But again, it made me understand the process. Okay. And that's the first thing that you want to do, is you really want to understand before you go into anything. You want to understand the process of whatever it is, the goal that you have. What is the process? Without knowing the process, even if you don't know how to do it, without understanding it, it's going to be a struggle. So you really want to make sure that you get yourself understanding the process.
And you know, it's funny how the same way that you've dedicated yourself to teaching people how to wear their makeup, how do they feel comfortable, what my goal is always teaching that process. And making it elementary. You know, it's funny because, you know, as a doctoral, you know, my doctoral background, you know, you learn all of these terms, and it was funny because when I was in you know, going for my doctorate, and I was present papers, or I had to present, they were always like, well, you're not academic enough, you're not scholarly enough. And now they tell me, well, you're too scholarly. Like, I can't win. Where do I go? I'm somewhere in limbo, you know, in scholar limbo. But my goal is always, how can I make this simple? Because it really is simple. It's just the processes. That's what I'm good at. How do I break this down so that anybody could understand it? Because honestly, they're the ones that need it. Doctoral students don't need it. They really don't need that. You know, they learn the process, and that's great. But the people that need it are the people that are running the business, the everyday people. And that's where my heart is. My heart is in that small business person that's struggling. And how can I teach them about a business plan? How can I break that down so that they can understand the process? Because it was what you did was awesome. You gave them the information, but you're still a little bit at a loss. Somebody else has your information, and that's information that I want everyday people to understand. Because when you're running a business, you should know that that information is important to you.
Yes.
To you.
It's a
Because
must.
those demographics are important to you. Who are these people? How do I get a hold of them? How do I build my business? I did a training the other day for a group that I was presenting to on business model canvas, which what I'm going to talk about here for a couple minutes, and we'll talk about that further later. But a business model canvas really breaks it down, really breaks down that business model. Before you get to that business model, like, so who are these people? How am I going to make my business work? What are the things? And so breaking down every part of your business. So this is the end product, but there are so many elements to get that.
Yes.
And it's that's important, because when this will go nowhere until you don't have that tangible. And so that's why that's important. It's important for that tangibility. And the thing is, that's what I dedicate myself to. So I love the fact that we're along the same lines, because we're kindred spirit.
Yes.
In that area. So I love it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did your due diligence. You went to somebody. You got what you needed, which is the most important thing. And so now you had your business plan. So where did it go from there? Now you started creating your product.
Yes.
This is product development, which is awesome.
Yes.
And most people won't dare do this. Most people, because it's a grueling process.
It is.
This is worse
What
than
you
going
end
to
up
the
finding-
dentist.
Yes, what you end up finding out, when you do go into business, and I'm sure it's in any industry,
Absolutely.
especially when it comes to creating products, it's like the end result. Are you really going to get there? It's challenging. You don't know what to expect. You can have, huge setbacks financially. I mean, all of a sudden you're losing money because you didn't know that you were supposed to test the containers with the compatibility of the product. And, people who are selling you these items, the containers, you think that this is your profession. I would have hoped that they would have let me know instead of me having to find out on my own. So there's a lot of things, again, that's understanding not just the business plan. Now you understand that there's a process in everything. So when I ended up developing my line, I literally went to trade shows. So that's really how I ended up, because nobody really wants to help you. At that time, I was working at Henry Bendel's, and there was a couple other lines that were starting, and I kind of wanted to pick this person's brain on how she got started. And all I thought was like,
Yeah. Most people, you know what? Most people get threatened, and the reality is that there's room for everyone.
and
How do you know that? When you walk into Lord and Taylor or Macy's and you go to the counter, you don't have just one makeup counter. These people or everyone has. Why? Because they all offer something different.
Yeah.
And
But
you
you're
know,
fine.
but that's.
I found that nobody was really interested in giving you any guidance at all, like even letting you know how to find a manufacturer. Who would have thought finding a manufacturer was so hard? I'm like, I thought you could Google it, and it's not that easy. There's a lot. There's so many, but where do you find them? And then you have to break it down to I didn't know that I was going to have so many different components to creating a brand. There's the containers, then you have the boxes, then you have the labels on the bottom, then you have, the boxes that they're going to ship in. So these are individual companies that you're working with. You don't go to one company and say, I want a lip gloss, and put it together, and here it is, voila. No, you got to get all those companies, research where you're going to find them, find out who's going to give you the best price, find out who really is going to work closely with you, who's going to understand where you're at. And I found some really great manufacturers that to this day, if it wasn't for them, the business relationship that I've built with them, I wouldn't be here, because it's really about them believing in you too.
That's
and I've
awesome.
had really great experiences with the people that I work with. And again, in the whole process of what I've done, I really feel like I've gained angels and friends and people who believe in me. I find that I get a lot more support from people who really see me doing it than people who really know me all my life.
Right, and that's usually how it is. Typically that's how it is. But I'm a firm believer that, you know, our steps are ordered by God, and God brings us the people that we need in our lives when we need them, not before, not after. And so when our heart is right and when we're doing the right thing, those people just out of nowhere, they just come up. Not that you're not seeking them out, but you know, they just come. You get the right people.
Everything is timing too.
Right,
everything is timing, and you got to be ready. Yeah. And the other thing that I like to always share is people, you know, when people say they want to do something, but they want to start something and it's not the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the resources, and I don't have the time, and after I, you know, get the money together, or after I do this, or next year I'll do that. There's no better time to start something than now, because if you don't start it, tomorrow becomes another tomorrow, and that excuse keeps going on and on. And I found that my best method of actually creating what I created, and to this day I'm like, how did I do this? Like, people say, how'd you do it? I'm like, I just did it. Every day I made it a goal to, if you're not going to do one thing that gets you closer to doing what you want to do, to creating your dream, do 10, 20 things. But at least if you do one thing each day that gets you closer to understanding and getting you in that direction, it's all of a sudden, it's going to create a path, and all of a sudden you're gonna see it start to flourish.
What is it, like breadcrumbs?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And suddenly
you just have to, today I'm going to do this and achieve it.
So, Lu, one of my questions is, because I think this is really important, there's so many products out there. What need did you find? Because I always teach that when you find a problem, then you provide the solution. And you have another line, and I'm sure that you didn't think, oh, we just need another counter in Macy's, right? So what made you create another product?
Ironically, as I mentioned, referring back to when I was working for the other cosmetic lines, that I felt that there wasn't a brand that united women as a whole. And back in those days, you know, I mean, that was in 2000 when I actually decided to think about creating my line, and I didn't launch until 2008, so that's really how long it took me to really do all that research and figure this all out. It was a long time. But when I was going to start my brand, it was all about what's happening now. Everybody's now targeting them like women as a whole. And I had that idea in 2000. Had I really known what I was doing and I was able to launch it back then, wow, I'd have been like so far ahead. I still feel I am ahead, because I've created a brand that really brings women together, and any woman from the darkest complexion on the planet to the lightest complexion on the planet can wear the same colors.
Really?
And that was my goal. I wanted to bring order to the complexity of beauty, whether it was like, how do I pick the color that I like? How do I know it looks good on me? I was, you know, sitting there selling some products that needed to be taken out of inventory, so we'd have to push the product even if it wasn't something that really worked for the consumer, because that they were on us, you know, to sell the product. And for me, I felt like, gosh, this is so not me. This is not something that I feel good about. And I wanted to create a product that would work individually for each person. And that's what I created. I really wanted to bring a cosmetic brand that was for women of all ethnicities, and ironically it's happening now. And I think that the problem with that going on right now is they're even just adding more product to their already overly saturated cosmetic lines just to cater to all the women. I feel like when you walk up to a cosmetic counter and you see all this product, and you're, you know, at least, you know, I am familiar with product. If you're not familiar with product, you're like looking at that like, well, okay, I have no idea, and there's a salesperson, so I'm going to ask them, and of course they're going to guide me, but then they put it on you and you're like, but I don't really love it. And I wanted to create something where if you would come up yourself and try it on, that it would, whatever color you gravitate towards. I'm not going to say that if you are not a pink person, that I'm going to convert you into a pink person. But what I did do is create a product that if you are a pink person, if you are a red person, if you are a natural person, you know, you just want a little tone, you don't want a lot, that color is going to work for you because it works with the undertones of your skin. I've created a product that literally works for you. And it's not going to look the same on every person, but every person can wear the same color.
Isn't that something? Okay. That's fantastic. What made you think of that? Because usually that's another thing. When you go to the counter, you get overwhelmed with all of the colors. And one of the colors that I love, as you can see, is red. But not all reds look good on me.
That was
not, you know, so you go through, and, you know, at 20, you know, they started at about $28 a pop. For something you're going to throw away, it's a lot of money.
Yes,
yeah.
it piles up. It piles up.
It does. Yeah.
That was my thing. The other thing that I would like to share is with saying that that I wasn't artistically inclined, it was because how do I pick the colors? How do we match? How do we like? Mm-hmm. And that was it. The products weren't out there that really suited our complexion, that weren't really catering to Latinas, that weren't really catering to Asian women, that weren't really catering to women who had the darker blue undertones in the lips. See, there's a little blue line that goes around the lips, and the darker the complexion, the thicker that line is. Really? So I learned working with so many women that of different ethnicities that we all have that little blueness in the lips, the undertones of the lips. So the way the color is going to read on the lip depends on the undertone. Okay. So I've created products that are going to work with the blue undertones, which are, I feel that a lot of the cosmetic lines didn't focus on. They just wanted to create colors that, you know, are popular, and a lot of the colors that you see in other cosmetic lines work best on Caucasian women because they don't have the blue undertones.
Let me ask you, so who is LuMesh makeup for? Who is this for? I know you said, you know, women of all ethnicities.
Women of all ethnicities, but in today's day and age, it's for the women on the go, professional Latinas, professional women, moms on the go, everybody who has, like myself, 5 minutes max to literally do what you have to do for your face. I see it a lot. I see women that would rather not do anything because they don't have the time, but you really don't need more than 5 minutes, and that's what LuMesh is all about. The concept of the brand is to get you out the door in 5 minutes or less. Seriously. And again, with the proprietary techniques that I've created, it enables even the most uncoordinated person to master their beauty routine in 5 minutes or less.
So how do you do this? So I go and I buy, let's say, a lip gloss, and another product that you have is the
lip and cheek
stick.
Yeah.
So I can use that for both. Would that be all I do? Just the lip gloss? And so what are the proprietary techniques, or what? Does this come with a video?
Well, for the line that I currently have, I have, it's really about learning the product for you guys to really try it and experience, because what's in the pipeline is so innovative and unique that you're really, really going to find it to be something that it's going to be your go-to line with all your go-to products, because that's what I want to master for people, is making it easy for them to find products that really work for them. Apart from that, you don't just want color. You don't just need a lipstick. You want all the added benefits that come along with it. Why do you have to just buy a lipstick and that's it? I think you should have your vitamin E. It shouldn't have your chemicals that you don't want in the product, which are parabens, phthalates, synthetic fragrances, sulfates. Those are all, I took that all out of my product. Again, when I started my line, another thing that I didn't mention is that everything would chap my lips. I was working for all these cosmetic lines and I had to wear the product. I was selling it. But everything chapped my lips. Even lip balm chapped my lips. So I've created the lip glosses that have loads of vitamin E. It has plant extracts, and it hydrates your lips way better than anything else out there. Works way better than most lip balms. So I can't really claim all lip balms because I don't have it tested.
Right.
But
better than most.
Oh, better than most. I mean, hands down, scientifically proven by, I've tested them all.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And then what made you create a cheek and lip?
Again, it was the whole concept of why do I need to carry so many products?
Love it.
Why? So like here I was carrying my Carmex, my lip balm, and then a lip gloss, and then everything else. So I just put it all in one. And for the lip and cheek sticks, it's obviously something that I wanted to be able to do something so quick. And if you have your go-tos, you know, you can't ever go wrong. When you put a little rouge on your cheeks and on your lips, you could have nothing on your face, but you add a little hint of color to your face, and that just does so much to you. For you, I should say. Again, everything that I have in the pipeline, I have a mascara that I actually had on the market before, and it's by hands down one of the best. I have it on, but it's not on the market right now because, you know, it's really about bringing brand awareness to the brand before I start, you know, putting more product out there. There's no reason to bring out more product if people are not even knowing about the brand. So what I really want to do is get people to try it. I think that, you know, as a small business owner and a Latina business owner, woman business owner, I feel that, you know, it's so important to give these small brands or just any business, you know, a chance. I know that if you're used to buying something that you like, but, you know, it's a big brand and it's been around for a long time, I mean, what's wrong with trying something new? If you see it on the shelf, say, why don't you give it a chance? Because guess what? More than not, they're probably going to be a lot better for you because they're more in tune to what people want these days than what's already been out. So by all means, I encourage always, for anybody, to just support a small business. Try it once. If you don't like it, you can move on. But there's so many brands and so many products.
And let me ask you a question. As a small business owner, if someone doesn't like the brand, not because, I just didn't like the color, but if it's something that's significant, that's important, would you not want them to tell you, like, this is what didn't work, and, you know, so that you can go perfecting?
I have to be honest. I'm going to be very honest with that. Of course, I'm always open for any kind of feedback. I welcome it. But at the same time, people are all different. Your chemistry could be different. So depending on how your body, your skin reacts to certain things, like I was allergic to a lot of products, so I couldn't wear a lot of the products that I was working for. Now I've tried organic. I'm totally aware of what's in products, and I went organic too. But then again, organic products don't work for me either because they don't do anything. My lips are still drying out. So where's the happy medium? Just you got to be in tune with yourself. The skin. I like to educate people on what happens when you do put products on your body, in your hair. Your body talks to you. If your skin is drying out, that might not be just because it's your skin. It might be, okay, you could be dehydrated, but it could be everything else that you're putting in your body or on top of your skin.
And it could be a medical situation also.
Absolutely.
Because I know my sisters have thyroid problems.
Absolutely.
And as a result of that, they have a tendency of the dry skin and a lot of problems with their skin as a result of the thyroid.
That's so great that we brought that up because you just have to be in tune. Your body literally tells you when something's up, and a lot of the times it starts with just the products that you put on your body, on your face, in your hair, everything. I literally had my hair falling out of stress. You know, I was under a little bit of stress recently, and I felt like, oh my gosh, my hair's falling out. What am I gonna do? And there's products out there that if you do start using a product, it makes your hair fall out more if you stop using it. So so you just want to really be aware of what you're actually using, and when you're going to start using something, and be aware of like what your body, your skin is talking to you.
Okay, awesome. I love that. So what is LuMesh mission?
The LuMesh mission is to, like I had mentioned, to really bring order to the complexity of beauty. That was initially what I wanted, to create a brand that was simplified your daily beauty routine. And apart from that is to become the Steve Jobs of the cosmetic industry. I feel that, again, with so much product, I'm so taken by what I have experienced as a consumer, not just in makeup, but as a consumer, where I buy and buy and buy and try products and clothes and, you know, you name it, I buy and buy, and I'm like, I'm unsatisfied. I'm like, I wanted to create a brand that really, like, super exceeds your expectations.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And you've done that well. So Lu, how would you describe LuMesh? Like, there's so many products out there. What exactly is LuMesh?
That is one of the best questions, because it's so important for people to understand the brand and what it will do for you. There's so much makeup that's geared towards professional makeup artists, and makeup that is literally high def and really used for the camera. LuMesh is not your YouTube makeup, it's your everyday.
So it's something that we can use for work. It's something that we can use when we're going out for an evening.
It's something that you could go from day to night. It's something that will definitely also give you the benefits that you need all during the course of the day, so your skin is being pampered.
Okay.
It's all in one. It's everything you need.
Okay.
And it's, of course, something that it's for every woman of any ethnicity.
When I'm on camera, I notice that sometimes I'll wear certain, my makeup a certain way, and it doesn't always look so good. So is LuMesh something that I can use for the camera?
Honestly, it is. I did say that it's not your YouTube makeup, but of course, it looks amazing on camera too. But this is something that if you do wear it on camera, when you go out, it looks great to the naked eye. That is what's different about LuMesh, is that it looks great on camera, but it still looks wonderful to the naked eye. It doesn't look cakey, it doesn't look overdone, and it doesn't look heavy. It doesn't look like you have a mask on. It looks like you.
Okay, great. That's awesome. So, yeah, because that's one of the things that I struggle with. Is it too cakey? Is it too... So finding the right makeup that's going to be great with the lights and camera, and that I can use every day, and I can feel like myself, because, as you can see, I'm not a huge makeup person. I use the lipstick kind of camouflages it all.
No, I love it. Love it.
Covers
Lipstick does a lot.
the multitude of sins, but it really kind of, it sets the tone for whatever it is that I missed.
Yes.
But having to have the right makeup for a camera, and then having to have that right makeup for every day, which I just like simple. I just like simple makeup. This kind of encompasses everything.
Yes, it's like your day to night makeup, and it's your camera to natural makeup.
Because the worst thing, and I know a lot of women have made this mistake, like they'll wear like going out makeup during the day
during
for the
office.
Day, and that's so
it looks beautiful on camera. Like
and it looks beautiful at night depending on the lighting.
Yes,
but during the day,
and it's very there's people that are very talented, and they look amazing. All these artists on YouTube, they look amazing. I would never discredit their work. Very talented. But I don't want to see that makeup in broad daylight, because it just doesn't look very attractive.
Okay.
It doesn't look natural. It just looks really heavy, and it's really just contoured, and it's not meant for the naked eye. Definitely not. So LuMesh, you can wear it on camera, or you can transition to wearing it on the street.
Okay.
And look gorgeous.
Awesome. So what's in the pipeline? I want to talk about what's next.
Yeah, because we're talking about how it looks natural and whatnot, when all I have is these lip glosses and my lip and cheek sticks. But what I have in the pipeline is an entire range of products, of the basics of all you need. I've got an eyebrow pencil that's coming out. Obviously, I have my mascara. I have a basic black and brown eyeliner that I think everybody should have. I also have my amazing illuminating bronzing foundation. It's a foundation. I haven't really come up with a name yet, but it's something that illuminates the skin. It gives you a bronzing effect, but it also, I have 3 different colors. So the one that I'm wearing right now, anybody from the fairest complexion to the darkest complexion can wear it as a bronzer, but the darkest complexion will wear it as their foundation. So everything in between can wear this one particular spray foundation that I'm creating.
Okay.
And again, it's not meant to cover the skin, it's made to illuminate you. So it's incredible. The other thing I have is I've always struggled, again, carrying so many products, not just my LuMesh products, but prior. Because now with my multifunctional products, I don't carry that much. But anyway, when I'm traveling, I find that any of the makeup bags that I buy and carry, they're too bulky, and it's too, I feel like I put a lot of product in there, but then it's just even bigger. So I created a new makeup bag that I'm really excited about. See, this is kind of like the size of makeup bags that you usually get, and in order to put, this is what I carry in my purse. But it carries very little. Okay, not that I need to carry that much during the day, but I always like to be prepared just in case. But here, this is a prototype. I'm very proud of it. It's really awesome because it's very good size. You don't see this. This is not a typical size. I've never seen a size like this that is this flexible, and it will really, you could use it when you're traveling. You just put all your makeup in there, your toiletries, and I will be also adding this in there where it's like flexible as well. So you put in your conditioner and your shampoo, but again, it's not the bulkiness of the plastic. And sometimes when you fill those little containers, the product doesn't even come out. So again, I'm making everything effective and more useful and easy for you to carry. So even if you wanted to put all your stuff or nothing in here, this is literally going to fold up to nothing. When you do put it in your carry-on, you just flatten all your makeup out, and it just lays flat. So it's awesome.
Fabulous. Okay.
Yeah. So again,
and this is going to be coming out in when? Fall?
We're hoping for in the fall. So look for this. Yeah, this is one of the items that I'd like to get out right away. As far as everything in the pipeline, I also have a patent pending product that is going to knock the socks off of the cosmetic industry. It's going to take the cosmetic industry by storm. It's a compact that is an Iron Man-like transforming compact. That's all I can say right now.
Really?
Yeah. So it's really something that you're going to be like, what? Like
you
don't even have to carry a purse to carry your makeup.
Seriously?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So, of course, it's going to be a touch-up makeup, but still.
But still,
when you're going out, you don't need to carry anything. It's going to be on you.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, so it's exciting.
Fantastic. So, Lu, if they want your makeup and if they want to get a hold of you, go on your site, look at the things that you have, your products, where do they go?
Go to www.lumesh.com, obviously, and also LUMESH.com. And if anybody wants to email me, you could always contact me directly through my website. I'm always accessible. So please do follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Okay, awesome. That's where I found her, and you can too. Okay, so it was so awesome having you. I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to the other things that you're going to have. And when you have more products, I'll have you back on the show so that you can show people. You see, my goal is always that you realize that, and that's why I like to bring everyday people who are doing phenomenal things, because the reality is that our gift does make room for us. And LuMesh is definitely a test for that. This is a girl whose parents came from Mexico, and she's here as a first-generation American, and look at all the things that she has done. And you know what? We can all do this. It's just, what do we say? Échale gana.
Échale. That was awesome.
The thing is, she's still so young and has such a long way to go. But hey, it doesn't happen without hard work, dedication, research, learning, connecting to the right people that are going to bring you to the right place. So, if you think it's hard and if you think it's a struggle, I'm not going to lie. It is. It's work. But there's no greater satisfaction than to be doing what you're called to do. For Lu, it was makeup. For me, it's teaching innovation and how to stand out in a saturated market. Everyone has their gift, and you have yours. And the reality is that you can do this. And I'm very excited to keep listening to these interviews because I have some fabulous people just like Lu that are bringing you a wealth of information. Digest this. Maybe you want to watch this a couple of times because if you have an idea, I want you to jot things down and watch because this is really an amazing person who has done incredible things. All right, guys, so I'll see you next week, and I'm glad that you came here. Talk to you soon. See you soon. I want to thank you for being with us on Business Foresight, always creating strategies towards an extraordinary future. Remember, I'm here with you with strategies every Saturday. I'll see you next week.